Welcome to your mailbag episode, everybody. It's fantasy playoff time, and you might not have Tyreek Hill. He is not practicing on Friday. Friday afternoon for us, if you're listening to the podcast, it is Saturday. So hope you're having a great weekend so far. Hope you had an awesome Friday night. And we'll get to some news items. Hopefully more will trickle through as we get into the show. We got the fantasy cops joining us today. Apple Podcast questions, YouTube comments, your emails at fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. And the most important part of the show, I don't know how he feels about it. I don't know the review yet. We're going to be surprised. He watched Christmas Vacation, and Dan Schneier, you got a nice review ready to go?
You know what, Adam? I thought about this, and I thought about your decision to give me homework assignment on, a podcast here. And afterwards, I said to myself, you know what? If I see that Adam Azer again, I'm going to look him straight in the eye, and I'm going to tell him what a cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-looking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, hopeless, heartless, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of hallelujah, where is my Tylenol?
So you read a quote. You didn't watch the movie, you just read a quote.
No, I did watch the movie.
He watched it. He watched the whole thing.
Well, yes, I have a review on it. I have a detailed review.
Good.
A turning point in the movie for me.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I have a favorite quote, and it wasn't that one that I just read off.
All right. We're looking forward to that. And Mel Kaliki Maha to everybody out there as well. All right, so let's go to our news and notes here. Tyreek Hill not practicing. Jamie, they'll decide on Sunday if he is going to play. And give me your 30-second review of what this might mean.
I mean, obviously, if he does not play, it's a disaster for a lot of things, for fantasy managers, for the Dolphins, for Tua Tagovailoa. Fire up the Jets DST. It's bad. I still expect him to play at this point, though. I mean, based on what the comments from Mike McDaniel were and what Tyreek said to the Twitch stream that he was on the other day, like it sounds like he's just managing the pain. And I guess if he's okay, they're going to let him play. And so, look, I hope that's the case. It's more hope, I think, than anything else at this point. And if he plays, you're starting him. So just continue to wait and hopefully get some news. We've seen players this season, receivers in particular, go without practicing all week and still play. And hopefully that'll be the case for Tyreek too.
Demario Douglas is going to play for the Patriots against the Chiefs. Brian Robinson still not practicing. We have been expecting him to miss this game all week, so not a surprise there. At the Rams, Aaron Rodgers, according to Robert Saleh, looks normal in practice. It'd be a surprise if he comes back, but they are at Washington next week, or home against Washington, whatever it is, next week. Brandon Staley and GM Tom Telesco for the Chargers, they were fired. We just saw this just before we got on the show.
No way.
I know. Yeah, I thought it was going to happen during our earlier episode on Friday, but just before our noon one. So yeah. Again, I never celebrate people getting fired. It sucks, but I don't think it's any surprise. And Chris Godwin did make it back to practice. Will he crack the top 30, Jamie? Chris Godwin, if he plays.
We've had him ranked all along, and he's not in the top 30.
Okay. Then let's tell you about our live stream on Sunday morning, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. All of us are on it. Dan's the only one who's not doing any work on Sunday morning. So, no, I'm sure he's doing something. Anyway, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. We'll see you at 11:30 a.m. live answering all of your questions. First from Apple Podcast. From Tyler is pretty great, 34. Thanks for carrying me to 8 of 11 fantasy playoffs. All right. Nice work.
Go. You were heavy.
Start 2 in half PPR. One of them has to be a running back. Jerome Ford, Clyde. Well, let's do the running back first. Jerome Ford, Clyde, Aaron Jones. Pick a running back.
Do we know if Aaron Jones is playing?
No, we don't know for sure.
Do we know if Dylan is playing?
No.
I'm going to go Ford.
Yeah, I think Ford's the safer play. I do feel like if we have another week of Pacheco missing, which I think is very likely right now, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to fall into a touchdown in that matchup against the Patriots. I think they'll score a few touchdowns there and have a huge lead. But I'll go with Ford. It's a safer play.
Okay, and then we need a flex out of Clyde, Njoku, Higgins, Aaron Jones, and Noah Brown.
Jones.
10 PPR.
If he plays Jones, yeah. If not, I'll go with
Njoku if he doesn't.
I'll go with Higgins if he doesn't.
And for those of you wondering what Dan will be doing Sunday, I do think Robert P in our chat nailed it. He says Dan will be 5-putting on Sunday.
No golf on Sunday. It's 40 degrees outside.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
gotta move
today.
where you are.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
today you'll be 5-putting.
Yeah, maybe.
From Seth. Hey, Shannon, John, and Philip.
Okay. No. Why would anyone? Oh, Shannon Sharp. Nope. No.
Yep. Okay,
Oh,
good.
that's right. And John Elway. No.
Philip Lindsay.
None of this makes sense. Who's the Philip?
I don't know. All right, how do I 2 wide receivers? Chase, Puka, DJ Moore, and Christian. It won't be Watson. Chase, Puka, DJ Moore.
Needs 2?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm sitting Chase.
I don't love DJ Moore against Cleveland, but I think given the state of their defense and some injuries, I'm okay with that. So Chase is probably the guy I would sit to, which is crazy to say.
Do you know in his 2 games, aside from the Jaguars game, so the 2 games with Browning that he didn't play well, he's got 10 targets and 7 catches or something like that?
Yeah.
Chase, yeah. Denzel Ward was limited on Thursday. I don't think I mentioned that. He didn't practice Wednesday, but Denzel Ward was limited on. Oh no, he did. He's been limited. What's with me? Yeah, limited all week. All right, back to the questions
7
here from
catches and 10 targets in the other 2 games.
Fields, Lawrence, or Stafford from Wake Up.
Stafford.
Well, Stafford is the start of the week. Let's go Stafford.
From J-Mac in Kansas City, Waddle or Addison, PPR.
Waddle for sure. If Tyreek Hill's out, that's for sure. I would do it either way, though.
I would do Waddle also, but I wonder if Waddle's worse without Tyreek there because that means he
You get
may
more
see
attention.
more of sauce.
Yeah, I
Possible.
don't think anyone cares, but for what it's worth, his target per route run rate did not change at all in week 14 when Tyreek Hill was out. Very small sample size, but didn't change. Kelsey or McBride, can't even believe this is a question.
Kelsey.
This is one of those situations. First off, McBride's got a tough matchup. So if it was a slam dunk easy matchup for McBride, then I think it's a little closer. But this is one of those situations we talked about a little bit on the Friday morning show of like, do you trust the player or do you trust the matchup? You know, in this case, I don't think there's enough of a difference to say I'm trusting the player. I'm trusting the matchup.
I mean, I'm just not going to have my fantasy playoffs decided by me benching Travis Kelsey.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, Kelsey's been better than McBride. You know, it's like he's been bad for Kelsey, but he's still the number 1 tight end. So,
well, McBride in his stretch of breakout performances has been better than Kelsey.
Are you sure? I don't know.
I also feel like unless the Chiefs' offense is
since Zach Ertz's injury, McBride has been better than Kelsey.
Certainly in PPR. I don't have
if you take out the Clayton Tune game. Yeah.
And then but this is the other thing though. Like you just said, Dan, and I agree with you because I said the same thing. Like you don't want to have Travis Kelsey on your bench in the fantasy playoffs. You don't want to have Jamar Chase on your bench in the fantasy playoffs also, right? You know, so there are situations where you might have better players. You know, I just don't think in this case, like if McBride was playing Cincinnati, to me I'm benching Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think no matter what I could bench him personally.
Yeah, he's gonna be tight end one every week.
I haven't seen I know that it's historically a good defense, but to me, from what I've seen, the Patriots defense is not at the same level it has been in the past, and they have a lot of injuries. This should be a get right game for the Chiefs offense. If they don't get right, they might just be officially broken at that.
For who? I don't agree with this take here. The Patriots
defense has looked that good to me when I've seen them against the Giants. They're playing a little bit better lately, and they shut down the Chargers. But the Chargers
gave them 10 points to the Giants or something.
No, they didn't give a lot of points, but just didn't look like the same historically good Patriots.
They're not historically great, but they are a good
defense. Okay, we'll see. I mean, I think to me, you're the Chiefs. You're going to have a ton of possessions in this game. You really should be cashing in on 3 or 4 offensive touchdowns.
They should.
If they're the Chiefs, like if they have any chance of getting back to that.
Dan, have you watched them this year?
No, I know.
Start 3 was the same guy from J-Mac. Gibbs, Kamara, Kyron Williams, and Zeke. You have to sit 1. Gibbs, Kamara, Kyron Williams, Zeke. PPR.
Sitting Zeke.
I'm definitely not sitting Kamara, so it's Gibbs or Zeke. I'll keep Gibbs. I have ranked higher, so I'll keep Gibbs.
And J-Mac thinks that the Chiefs are still going to win it this year.
I think it's possible. Anytime you have Mahomes, I wouldn't count you out. I'll probably place a little wager on him.
Okay. From Pierce. My wife and I listen to the show making dinner every night. All right, cool. Half PPR, two
Bacon
running
burgers?
backs. Yeah, I don't think they're bacon burgers. Two running backs. Achan, Gibbs, Kyron, Pollard. Pick two.
Gibbs and Pollard.
And sitting Kyron.
You're sitting Kyron?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said it was. I didn't hear
Achan, Gibbs, Kyron, Pollard.
Oh,
I can't sit
Gibbs and
Kyron.
Kyron.
Yeah, it's Kyron for sure. It's either I'll go Gibbs. It's either Gibbs or Pollard for me, but I'll go Gibbs.
Evans, Ayuk, or DJ Moore. Pick two.
Sitting Ayuk.
Yeah, I'll play Ayuk. No matter what, I would sit Ayuk. I was gonna say if Denzel Ward.
And then we need a flex. He's going to play, I think. A flex, Ayuk,
Pollard.
8 Pollard.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. And Fields or Stroud at quarterback. Stroud's probably not going to play. So
Fields either way.
Fields
All
either way.
That's it. That's all we have for the Apple Podcast questions. I recommend it's a good way to get your question read. So please keep leaving us 5-star reviews. Try to get them in, I'd say, by Tuesday. They do take a while to populate. It's got breaking news. Stroud, Nico Collins, and Will Anderson all not practicing today, so you can pretty much rule them out. All right, let's hear it. Christmas Vacation. A man in his 30s had never seen it somehow. Apparently, his cable goes out every year in the month of December, but he finally watched Christmas Vacation. And what'd you think?
It was excellent. It was a great movie. I'll say this. It had a turning point for me. So it had moments in the first half of the, and I paused it when this turning point started happening because it was like a hilarious 5 to 10 minutes of movie. And I was like, all right, let me see where this was at in the movie. And then it continued for the rest of the way. So that was good. But first half of the movie had some moments. Was a little slow to me and kind of like 80s-ish. I like the scene where he's in the department store and he's flirting with that girl and his son comes up.
Well, that's fine.
That was funny. That was fun. I mean, my favorite quote of the movie was in the first half of the movie when I can't really say the quote, but when his brother, was that his brother or was that his wife's brother? The idiot guy.
Eddie,
yeah.
It's his wife's. It's his brother-in-law. It's not his brother, is it?
His cousin.
It's his cousin. Yeah,
It's
his
his
Uncle,
cousin.
right?
I guess they said uncle.
Cousin
Yeah.
Eddie. Yeah, cousin.
Okay,
Eddie.
so it's his cousin when he's just outside and just dumping waste into the sewage, and Elaine or not Elaine, what's her name, Julie Dreyfus, and the other dude over there in the house next door come out and they just look at him and he just looks at him back and he goes, I don't want to say the word on the air, but the blank was the blank was full. I was just
It's such a everybody loves that line. That's such a great line.
So funny. I was cracking up. And then the turning point for me in the movie when it just got into absolute hilarity was when they finally sit down for the Christmas dinner and Eddie's wife is like, yeah, I made the turkey. And they open up the turkey and then there's like that scene of like Clark and the rest of them trying to eat the turkey. He's like chewing on it as hard as he can. And so that whole scene.
Imagine you missed out on this your entire life.
Yeah, I don't know. And then after that, it was just hilarious movie the rest of the way. I mean, just so many funny moments.
Yeah, Eddie is really
Definitely somewhere between 2 through 5 behind Die Hard in Christmas movies.
Yeah, whatever. No, but it's not. It's got to be number one. I mean, it's so good.
Better than Home Alone?
Well,
it can't be better than the Home. I've seen Home Alone a bunch.
It's funnier.
It's funnier than Home Alone, but Home Alone is an epic movie and so
If they
well
were
done.
both on TV, which one would you watch?
Home Alone for me.
Christmas Vacation.
Zach, can we get a YouTube poll? If they were both on TV, which would you watch? Christmas Vacation or Home Alone? I don't know. I think I'd watch Christmas Vacation. I love the opening theme song. Actually, no, it's the closing theme song, the Christmas Vacation song. Like that song brings joy to my heart.
Just to hear it, you know what that means.
Dan, have you seen any of the other National Lampoons?
What are they? Name them. Probably not.
Vacation.
No.
Start with that one. Go watch that one.
Okay, Vacation. All right.
Yeah, don't watch European Vacation, and you can watch Loaded Weapon. Is actually not that bad, believe it or not.
My whole life too, I had no idea when I would see people with that like Blackhawks jersey that says Griswold on the back. I just never knew what that was or what that meant or what that was in reference to. when I was living out in the Midwest when I was in Wisconsin. Now I know exactly what that is.
All right,
we were having this conversation on the show today. Have you seen Baywatch ever? The show.
Me? No shot.
Yeah,
Not that I've ever seen that. Like, they don't play reruns of that, do they?
No, I don't think. I doubt it was a good show. I never
Is that
saw
a good show, or this is just
It's an amazing show.
It's very, very. I'm sure it was a very
it's
well
an amazing show, says Jamie Eisberg, the man who took me to Twin Peaks when I visited Fort Lauderdale.
All right, we're getting
setting a trend here.
But we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the fantasy cops on fantasy football today. The fantasy cops are back, everybody. We're here to settle your league disputes, and yes, your Jared Goff fumble stat correction. League
Yeah,
that definitely was jarring for a lot of people. I know
a lot of people were pissed at that.
All right, the first one is from Sherm. Dear Pembleton, Holt, Chaplin, and Thoreau.
Justin's. No, I don't know. Justin Thoreau, I was thinking of.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is. I have no
Who
idea.
is
It's the actor guy.
Yeah, from
Right?
what? A show we
From
both like. which I was shocked that you
Leftovers.
watched. Still
Some
shocked that you
Leftovers.
watched that show.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if this requires the fantasy cops or maybe the fantasy moral police.
Okay.
So anyone but Dave, he says. My Empire Dynasty League uses divisions for some stupid reason, and playoffs get seeded where you only play your division for the first 2 rounds. I am the defending champ. I finished first this year. My division also includes the second and third best teams in both record and points for. But the commissioner has not manually reseeded the playoffs, so I'm currently in a side of the bracket that features much easier matchups. Do I tell him or just hope it goes unnoticed and hope to benefit by getting a much easier path to finally ending this league?
Well, it sounds like you want this league over with to start, so I would say don't even say anything. I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't know if I would say anything. I really don't. I mean, if I was running the league, maybe, and I noticed it, and I still gave me an advantage, then I would feel bad because I was running the league and I felt the moral responsibility. I'm just playing it. This guy's just playing in the league, though. So, and he wants it over with anyway. Don't say anything. Let it roll.
Why does he want it over with?
I don't know. But he does.
It's an Empire League, so he wants to win.
Oh, yeah. You know what that is, Jamie?
It's an Empire or Vampire?
Empire.
No, I don't.
Oh, so that, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, but in those leagues, a certain percentage of the pot every year goes to something called the Empire pot. And that's if you win 2 years in a row, you get it, Adam. Is that what it is?
Yeah. The pot keeps growing until someone wins it 2 years in a row,
Right.
and then they take it over.
They get that, yeah.
I mean, they win something if they win it once.
No, they win the whole pot, I think.
No,
that's
if they
it.
win it once, they win something. But if they win it twice, they get the whole pot.
Yeah.
You get rewarded for winning, but you don't. But if you win it twice, then you get everything.
And it just keeps growing. It's
there
like
are
a bad beat jackpot.
I should mention there are 2 other co-commissioners. So is it even my fault if it goes unnoticed, or do I mention it and hope for good fantasy football karma?
Oh.
I think you mentioned it.
You mentioned it?
Win the right way.
I like that. Yeah, I'd say mention it. I think you just got a glimpse of the moral compass of Jamie, me, and Dan. And it's very different here. All right. This one, I'm actually going to get this one from Chris. Dear Wayne, Gordy, Bobby, and Mario.
Hows? Hockey players?
I don't think they're all Hows.
But they're all hockey players.
They're all great hockey players. You know, the great one, Wayne Howe.
They're all Canadian hockey players.
Yeah, they're all just great hockey players. They're like the best hockey players ever.
Yeah.
You know, the Penguins superstar Mario Howe. You recall? Our league's regular season standings finished extremely close. There were 4 7-7 teams competing for the last spot. In the end, the 6th place team edged 7th place by 0.6 points, with points being the tiebreaker. But on Wednesday night, there was word that the NFL made a stat correction, giving Jared Goff a fumble that was originally not given to him. The Goff manager is the 6th place team, who narrowly edged out the 7th place team. This fumble loss would deduct 2 points and send the 7th place team into the playoffs.
Wow.
The 7th place team also happens to be the commissioner. He found out Thursday morning, and due to time constraints of the first NFL games happening Thursday night, he made the manual stat correction, and he is now in the playoffs. The 7th place manager woke up Thursday morning to find out he was ousted from the playoffs, or the guy who was 6th and now is 7th. Was this the right decision by the commissioner? Put himself in the playoffs due to the stat correction?
Yes.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be?
Because he had to do it manually, I guess. Like, it didn't automatically
So
happen.
what? That's on the site. That's not on him. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is part of what stat corrections are. It's bad blood business. I mean, one thing you can do to fix all this, in my mind, I still believe in is Apex. I really do believe in Apex scoring. I've been now this year. I was in like 50% leagues Apex. I don't know how many of those leagues you guys are in, but makes a big difference in my opinion. It makes a much more it makes the standings at the end of the season much more reflective of the actual best teams.
Yeah, that's a good point. So did you explain what Apex is?
So Apex scoring is the following. There's CBS offers something similar, which is you play 2 matchups, but I like that a little less. What I like the best is Apex, which hopefully we'll have coming soon. And that's where you play 1 matchup against your scheduled opponent, and then the top 6 teams get a win and the bottom 6 teams get a loss. So say you're the second most scoring points of the week, but you played the most scoring points of the week. Instead of going 0-1, you go 1-1. And if you have the second fewest points scored, but you played the fewest points scored team, instead of going 1-0, you go 1-1. So it's a lot more even at the end of the year when it all totals up.
This is from Frank from Tally. Last week, fighting for my playoff life, I started one of them illegal lineups y'all been talking about when I kept Dallas Goedert in an IR spot. It was an intentional move, and karma got me, and I ended up missing the playoffs. My question is, should I continue to keep Goddard in my IR spot for the remainder of the season? He totally out of it, not playing for anything. Or should I drop him to waivers where he technically should have been in the first place, which would benefit some other team's roster that's already in the playoffs? What do you think?
No, your roster should be locked. So
Yeah.
even though you have an illegal lineup, so be it.
Yeah, I don't like unlocking teams who aren't in the playoffs. That leads to so much chaos.
Okay, last one then. This is from Daniel. 10-team PPR league. We do not allow trades between non-playoff teams and playoff teams. On Sunday night of week 14 at 11 p.m., the number 2 team traded Kyler Murray and Cortland Sutton for Patrick Mahomes. All the players had played in week 14, I guess on his team and the other team. The team giving Mahomes was eliminated from the playoffs in week 14, and the trade processes for week 15. I called out the trade, but the commissioner, who has been caught cheating, he says, allowed the trade because, quote, Murray is the better fantasy quarterback and the trade looks fair. Can you please judge the fact that trades made after games have been played are pushed until the next week? And this manager was eliminated from the playoffs in week 14. The waivers ran in week 15. The trade was processed. The trade should be reversed. Am I wrong?
If you still allow trades to happen, then no, you should not reverse it.
I thought, but you can't. But the guy had been eliminated from the playoffs at that point.
Not when he made the trade.
Yes, when he made the trade, like it
was
everything
after.
had been said.
Right?
He had already lost. Technically, it didn't show up in his record yet, but he had already lost. He'd been eliminated from the, or I don't know if he lost, but he had been eliminated from the playoffs as of that week. The trade was made for week 15.
Right.
You think I would overturn this?
I would overturn this. I think he's trying to get off on a technicality that he technically made the trade in week 14, even though, by all intents and purposes, week 14 was over for him and for this playoff run. But we buried the lead on this one. This guy is playing in a league where the commissioner of the league has already been caught cheating. They're still just playing this through and like acting like nothing happened. Who's playing in league? Like, find a new league, get the guys together and be like, we can play in a league without a cheater here. Like, this guy you don't just get to cheat, get caught, and just roll on as if nothing happened. This is crazy.
Jamie, are you cool with our decision to overturn the trade?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your Fantasy Cop submissions. How about your emails? fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. Got a lot of emails this week. That's good. It means people are in the playoffs. Appreciate that. James Conner or Ty Chandler from Matthew. James Conner or Ty Chandler, PPR.
Full PPR.
Chandler.
Give me Chandler. Exactly.
Bing from Raymond. Is Austin Eckler startable as
a little play on Chandler Bing?
Of course. Yeah. Why else would I say?
I don't know, but it wasn't great.
It was pretty good.
Was it, Jamie?
I mean, we had enough Friends references today.
It's true. Jamie made the raunchiest Friends reference.
What was it?
7.
Repeat it.
7 or 6?
7.
7. Yeah. You don't watch Friends. You don't even know.
Nah.
Dave said nobody wants to have 7, and I said except Monica.
Yeah. All right. Raymond
Well
wants to
over
know
my head.
if Austin Eckler is startable as a flex or if he's droppable or what. Eckler going forward.
Ooh.
He's definitely not droppable. Let's see who did they name the interim coach yet?
That's a good question.
Because that will matter.
No, not yet. They didn't name him yet.
He's no, don't drop him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, teams are never as bad as they are in their worst moment.
I wouldn't drop him, but I don't really see too much incentive for either Eckler or Keenan Allen to get a lot of touches the rest of the way.
I mean, I said the same thing, and I got
Yeah.
killed for it.
I don't know
No,
why you got killed for it. You said
I
it on this mailbag, and I thought it was a great point last
who
week. You
killed you
said it.
for it?
What?
Who killed you for it?
I
Yeah,
got
I
a
don't
few comments about it.
Oh, from the people?
Well,
Oh
yeah.
no, Jamie, you're a veteran in this game. You can't.
Oh,
be
I'm not concerned about it. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I'm just stating fact.
You're never gonna get full approval from the comment section.
From Dave. Give me a PPR flex. Jerry Jeudy, Romeo Dobbs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Demario Douglas.
Ugh,
I
PPR.
might go Douglas.
I was gonna say Demario Douglas because PPR. I don't feel great about it though.
Could be Dobbs. Between those two for me.
Yeah.
Here's one from David. What are the odds that Jonathan Taylor returns in week 16 and is productive?
I think they're decently. I mean, I'll listen to Jamie on this. I'll defer to Jamie after this, but I feel like they're decently high because the Colts are in the mix for the playoffs. So I don't see why anyone would think they wouldn't. They said, I think this week Steichen said he expects him to play again this year.
So this is game 3. If he does not play next week, they would have made a mistake to not put him on IR because that would have been
True.
4 games. So I would assume, based on the fact that they didn't put him on IR, that he is going to play next week
Yeah.
if he's able to. So next week would be in line for him to return. If not, they made a mistake.
That's a fair assumption.
Yeah, and it's a thumb injury for those of you who don't remember. So it's not like he's going to be playing through an ankle injury or anything like that. This is from John. Who would you start at flex and PPR? Javonte Williams, Jerome Ford, Antonio Gibson, or Marquise Brown?
Jerome Ford.
I was thinking maybe Gibson if Brian Robinson doesn't play, but it's probably a little too aggressive. Ford is the safer play.
I think I saw that the Browns center, Ethan Posick, is out this week. Yeah, he's out. That is a beat up line. Man,
Yeah, it is.
they've
Yeah,
got to
it
have backups at least 3 spots at this point, right? They lost both their tackles. Now their center's out. I don't know if that matters. I mean, Ford's going to find a way to get 11 points.
Right.
All right, from Chris. Dear Craig, Al, Carson, and Hoda. Are they all on
Today's show, right?
Morning Today Show, whatever it is? Yeah. I don't know if they are. Is Carson Daly on that?
I think he was.
Okay. I don't watch
Next to
those
Carson
shows.
Daly and Fred Durst. Don't
What?
finish that line. Nothing. I was just anytime I hear Carson Daly, I just think of that line. But don't finish that line, please.
What is
on
the line? What's it from?
Don't worry about it. Sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst, but we can't go any further with that line.
Okay.
You don't know that what that's from?
No.
Oh man, the real Slim Shady. You never heard that song?
Oh, yeah. I know that song. You wouldn't be surprised to know that I'm not a big Eminem fan.
No?
No.
Is these too many curses? Or just too much horrorcore?
I don't really like rap. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I just don't like.
Thought maybe as a kid you had a phase. Most white Jewish adolescents have a phase of rap in their life. At least the ones that are millennials.
No, not me. I had a big. I mean, I wouldn't call it a phase, but Alanis Morissette. That was like one of the first.
That's where you went with it instead.
That was one of the first albums that I never stopped listening to every day.
Wow.
Yeah, Jagged Little Pill.
I mean, you're showing maturity at a young age, but I don't think that's anything to brag
That was
about.
7th grade for me. Everyone was listening to that album.
No one was ripping
One of the best
Alanis
albums of all
Morissette in
time.
7th grade. I guess maybe in your.
And when I was in 7th grade, it came out.
Not even that much older than me. Wow, things. Can I just say things changed so fast for society and probably got in the worst way that we were listening to Alanis Morissette just a few years ago in 7th grade, and then when I got to 7th grade, it was like I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady.
Well, no, I mean, like rock was still really good when you were in 7th grade, I'm sure, but I'm sure there was a lot of rap that was popular then. But 7th grade, I think for a lot of people is when you start to get into music a little bit more. Like
I
real
agree with
music,
that take.
you know?
I never cared about music until 7th grade.
Alanis was a big one for me, and then Everclear had an album that I fell in love with so much for the Afterglow. But everyone loved Alanis. That was like it swept our school.
He is great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. One of the best albums ever.
Is that what you warmed up to as the backup goalie?
Uh
Isn't it ironic?
no, I did not. That was
Hey,
I was
were
in
you
high
the backup
school.
goalie for soccer or hockey? Well, I forgot which one it was.
Soccer.
So,
One
like,
year.
what does a backup goalie do?
Yeah, not
during
much.
practice and stuff. You're just like hanging
Well,
around
no,
and
during
standing a bunch.
practice was the best part. That was the only time I get to play.
Well, what
Because
did you? Oh, they had like they rotated in the goalie. What was the point of
Oh,
getting you reps?
we'd scrimmage, and I would be the goalie on
Oh,
one
on
side.
one side. Okay, I got you. So you'd actually
Yeah,
get
it
to
was
play
great. I get to punt and everything. Yeah. You know.
Okay, so you touch the ball in practice. Okay, and then during the game, you just kind of sidelines it. Any injuries to the starter at any point or no?
I've told this before, but he never
I
got hurt. First of all, he was great. He played. I don't know if he.
Okay.
I don't think he played college, but he could have. He was terrific.
So
And
you
our
would have
team
started if it wasn't for just having a great guy ahead of you.
No, our team was outstanding. Like I was not deserving of being the goalie on that team.
Okay.
But he had this thing where he would come out and he would get a penalty. Like he would be aggressive in the box and he would get a penalty.
Oh,
And he
wow.
would give them a penalty shot, a penalty kick. Sorry, you can tell how big of a soccer fan I am. And I would have to come in to get scored on and for one play. And then he would
they pulled him out for a play? Wow.
He'd get a penalty, he'd get a card or something like that. He wasn't allowed to stay in. He'd have to leave for one play. I'd have to take the PK. They'd make it, of course. And then
Then you look like an
So wow, your goals against for minutes
Oh my
played was
God.
terrible.
Adam's stats have to be unbelievably bad in this
no,
regard.
because we would blow out teams a lot, and I would get in garbage time. I was the
That's some garbage time reps, but you also giving up like a goal a game.
Oh, I think this should be part of your decathlon. Taking shots on goal.
I was
Okay.
not bad. I was not bad.
We'll have a shot there.
Yeah, and then I remember the first time I got in, I had
But
no
you're
idea.
saying, Dan, you're going to beat the high school goalie?
No, I'm saying he'll have a shot there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never a guarantee when it comes to Adam versus me in anything from an athletic standpoint. So I'll just say have a shot to be nice. I mean, that's where he starts. The bar starts with he has a chance to potentially win.
Yeah, so this guy in the chat says, I remember the scene from the Mighty Ducks with the goalie tied up.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't quite do that. All right, anyway.
You know, one of my worst takes that
back to the
D3 was a
question.
pretty good movie.
D3 is not a good movie, not at all.
Pretty good. And D2 is almost as good as 1.
Yeah, that's
Was that the Olympics one?
yeah. It's so
Oh, it's terrible.
stupid. Yeah,
It's
you're
not
so
stupid. It's
terrible.
enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
All right. At some point you'll watch them again, you realize how dumb you are. But anyway, all right. Chris needs help. He started Eckler. Who should he start at flex and half PPR? Brandon Cooks, Demarcus Robinson, Zay Jones, Jerome Ford, Jalen Warren, or Tajay Spears.
So upside, I would say if you're just desperate, Zay Jones.
That's what
mean,
I was thinking.
He got
In
14
his
targets last
situation,
week. He beat
yeah.
up the Ravens last year. They're going to be throwing a lot.
Got a red zone target that he almost converted.
Right. But the safer play with maybe 75% of the upside is Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
So I would probably lean Ford. But, if you feel like, oh, my God, I'm never going to catch my opponent, then swing for the fences with Zay Jones.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
say
From Billy. Oh, it's one more question real quick. Goddard or Taysom Hill?
I'd go Taysom.
Taysom's banged up, so that scares me a little, but the game script should be good enough, so I'll go get Taysom Hill as well.
I don't think I gave the stat on the podcast this morning. The Giants have allowed 7 1 to 2 yard rushing touchdowns, which is up there. It's not the highest in the NFL, but it's up there. So there you go, Taysom Hill. All right, this is from Billy. Oh, Billy. Right? Cable guy.
Great.
Half PPR, need a running back and a tight end. Antonio Gibson, Kareem Hunt, or Jerick McKinnon.
Gibson.
Isaiah Likely or David Njoku.
I'm actually going with Likely, but I'm a huge Likely guy. Team Likely.
I would go with Njoku. I mean, he's kind of locked in right now with Flacco.
I do like that rapport, but I just have a feeling about Likely. So
I thought I was like, all right, there's a chance Dan's gonna flip his answer now that Jamie said Njoku.
no, I'm looking at it. I'm sticking with Likely. I feel good about Likely.
Good for you. This is from Andy from a big town in Central Florida. that doesn't have food that's as good as big towns in central New Jersey.
Did he actually write that second part? 'Cause that's all.
He did
No,
not.
but it's just the truth that you can just add to the fact of any statement. Yeah. You end at the end. Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's okay. You have a lot to learn about Florida. You honestly just said Tallahassee.
Why,
Is
where is that?
Florida.
The capital. It's somewhere.
Panhandle, bro. It's basically in Georgia.
How is Tallahassee not considered Central Florida? All right.
No.
All right. Let me get another guess. Jacksonville, or is that too north?
Yeah, too north.
Okay. Okay. Let me get another guess. It can't be. So this was the part that doesn't make sense. If I'm in Fort Lauderdale, it's considered Southern Florida. If I'm in Jacksonville,
South Florida, not Southern
South
Florida.
Florida. If I'm in Jacksonville, it's considered North Florida. If I'm in Tampa, which I like, by the way, best place in Florida, that Tampa area, St. Petersburg, really nice out there. By far your best place you guys got going. That's West. And so where the hell is, there's not much space. Where's the Central? What is considered Central?
Not much space.
And you
What's over there?
upon a star.
What's that?
That would be the Disney theme song. You know what?
Orlando. Orlando.
Yeah. Orlando.
I don't think Dan ever leaves his bathroom.
Yeah, right. Tallahassee and Central.
Everything I need.
This is the same guy who called San Francisco, I believe, the Pacific Northwest.
Part of the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, I stand by that. It is still part of the Pacific Northwest. What else would that be considered?
Okay. Do I start Jake Browning or do I roster Geno Smith and Drew Lock and play the Seahawks starter?
Browning.
Oh, Geno, if he plays, my gosh, against Philly.
Yeah, but it's Saturday, right? So it's Browning on Saturday, or do you drop Browning? I don't know if it's drop Browning, but do you do the Seahawks route or play it safer with Browning?
I'm going safer.
I would hope we know by Saturday what the status is. He'll have the official injury report out. Might not be before the game because that's the early game. But if you have any chance to play Geno, I'd play Geno.
Ethan Dixon says, I bet Dan thinks Missouri is in the South. And I'll say this, Ethan. Yeah, you're right. They play in the SEC, don't they? It's a Southeastern Conference. No, I know Missouri from the show Ozarks. That's Missouri, right? I think it is. So I don't think it's the South. It reminds me of like the Midwest South, I call that. It's not really the Midwest, right? It's not like Chicago, Wisconsin type people. What?
You know Missouri from the show, not from, I don't know, a map.
Nah, Jamie, I'm not looking. You looking at map. Jamie's acting like he's over here just looking at maps. He's got a globe in the back of his office. Just
well, I know Tallahassee is not.
Oh, look, I can tell you anywhere on a map. I got a photographic memory of the map.
I've heard of Missouri. It was in that show Ozark, wasn't it?
Yes.
It amazing.
I know it from.
Okay.
Never been.
Let's see.
You know how great it would be if Tallahassee was in Central Florida? Like every Florida State sporting event, I would have been there.
I know.
I still feel like it is in Central Florida, but I'll just believe you guys.
It's in the center part of the Panhandle, which is, Okay. But did you know Florida has 2 time zones?
No, I did not know that.
Well,
wow.
Cool little fact, right? All right. Let's see. We got Rudy from California. Choose one to sit. Yeah, exactly. Choose one to sit. DJ Moore.
You guys are acting like when you drive through the Redwoods, okay, up in Northern California, it's not the same as when you're down there in Los Angeles and in San Diego. You know, it's a different area. To me, this is like North Jersey versus South Jersey.
Oh, wait.
People who are from California, why don't you weigh in here?
So San Francisco's in Northern California and Los Angeles is in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
They're at one end of the state to the other, kind of like Tallahassee.
Okay, Tony Montez, you said you live in Washington, the Pacific Northwest. It's nowhere near San Francisco. I agree with you. It's multiple states away. I did the drive down from Washington through Oregon, and then I ended in San Francisco. I went through the Redwoods at the top of California. If I had gotten all the way down to San Diego, I feel like there's more similarities and commonalities between what I saw in Washington and then making that drive down the coast in Oregon and then the Redwoods in San Francisco and Northern California than there is all the way and Washington all the way down, then all the way down in Southern California. I'm just going to stand by that.
Okay.
It's my take on the West Coast. Great.
We love it. All right. Here's Rudy's question. Sit 1. DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift. DJ Moore, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Rashee Rice. Sit 1.
Swift.
Yeah, you have to sit Swift of that group. Though Mixon is in there in the mix, but I'll sit Swift.
From Kenneth, should I start Demarcus Robinson, Dontavian Wicks, Xavier Hutchinson, Mechie, Parker, Hyatt, or Slayton?
Demarcus Robinson.
Sure.
All right, Jason Shapiro from Pennsylvania. says, if your sinuses are clogged at night and you have trouble sleeping,
Adam,
my weird but effective solution is to put Vicks Vapo Rub on the balls of your feet, put on socks, and then go to bed. A nurse suggested this to me when I was stuffed up. I tried it that night and I woke up at 3 a.m. completely clear. I thought it was so strange, but my son's pediatrician, my pharmacist, and a doctor friend all agreed. According to Eastern medicine, the bottom of the feet is connected to the sinuses.
I'm glad
P.S.
you said balls of your feet.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, because someone last night on Thursday night told me to rub onions on the bottom of my feet.
this is interesting.
I'll do the Vapo Rub maybe, but I'm not going to do the onion.
This is really
I have
interesting.
to go get Vicks Vapo Rub.
I might have to do this next time I have sinus.
Yeah, I'm very interested in this. This could be great. The balls of my feet, though, where I gotta stop saying it, but where is that? Is that
You don't know where that is?
not really? Is that like the near the heel or like
No.
under the
Oh
toes?
my God. Below your
It's-
toes.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. All right, and then this is from Andrew.
No, I 100% thought that was near the heel. I didn't want to admit it now, but I will
Thank
just
you.
admit it now. I'm still not convinced Jamie knows for sure. That's why I'm admitting it in case Jamie ends up being wrong. I would be on the right side of history because I thought it was by the heels as well. I thought it was just the bigger area of the foot. I don't know.
Adam giving me medical advice that I could just get from my great aunt on Facebook. I'm not telling you anything that's dangerous, though. I wouldn't tell
Oh,
you.
it might be. It might be. He doesn't know. He didn't fact check this.
Yeah.
He could be telling you something real
Look,
bad.
people are disagreeing, by the way, on where the balls of your feet are.
I see. I knew Jamie might not be right about that, so I'm glad
I think he's right. I think it's beneath your toes.
I don't know.
Well, this is so easy to find out. Boy, this show has gone off the rails.
Oh yeah, it's
it's below. Jamie's right. Okay, one more question here from Andrew. Pick a wide receiver and a flex. Zay Flowers, Jaden Reed, Sam Laporta, and Trey McBride.
Just one?
One wide receiver and one flex. Laporta.
Flowers and Reed stood out to me.
You start Reed over Laporta and McBride?
I think they're safer. I mean, Laporta's got a great matchup.
I'm going Laporta Flowers in this
Yes,
one.
fine.
Okay, we'll take a break. We come back with your YouTube comments. Everybody is balls of your feet are what you push up on. It's under your toes, part that clasps the bike pedals.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll be right back with your YouTube comments on fantasy football today. Welcome back, folks. We are running out of mailbag shows. We have 2 more, I believe. So,
I mean, this isn't going on the network?
Okay. Don has a real fantasy question for once. Please don't ignore me, Adam. I will over compliment you if needed. Yeah, it's needed. Over compliment. I appreciate it. Let's see what we
the way
have
to get his comments right on this show.
from CMAT. Addison Higgins, Pickens. Who are these people? Gabe Davis, Charlie Brown,
Chase Brown.
Yeah, and Gibson. We need one of them.
Full PPR. I'm gonna go Gibson.
I would too.
If obviously if Brian Robinson doesn't play.
I keep checking to see if there's injury report. I haven't found anything.
Yeah.
For who?
For Washington.
Oh yeah, he didn't practice today. I already said that at the top of the show.
Brian Robinson not practice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question for Jamie. This is it. So Don says, "Oh, Adam, I have a real question. Don't ignore me." And then he says, "Question for Jamie. If Tyreek is trending towards out, start 2 between Godwin, Thielen, Wandale, Warren, and Chandler, PPR."
So if we find out that he's out for sure, it would be Chandler and Thielen for me. If we have to wait it out, then I still might play Chandler and then just go with one of the other 2.
Okay. Chandler or Javonte Williams, half PPR.
Chandler as well. I want to chase the volume.
Superflex, Bijan Robinson or Will Levis?
Will Levis.
So this suggests that you might be sitting Bijan Robinson? Like you don't have other options there?
Yeah,
like that's crazy to me. So I don't know who your other 2 running backs are or regular flex because Bijan is
right.
must start. So obviously you're playing Bijan, but I would try and find a way to get Levis into your super flex spot if that's your best remaining quarterback because I do think he's going to play well against Houston.
Okay. Browning, Gino, or
We're well
Flacco?
enough that he should be 15 PPR points. Let's just say 15.
Yeah, I'll take the over. I'm sure you would too, but I would take the over on that for Bijan over 15.
Totally. But again, like, who do you have?
Yeah, it's weird. Browning, Gino, or Flacco?
Oh, he says his other running backs are Kyron Williams, McCaffrey, and Alvin Kamara. So yes, play all 4 running backs.
Wow.
Okay. Wow, jeez. I have some news for you too, by the way. But
I would
Browning,
play
Gino, or
Gino if he
Flacco?
starts.
And if you don't know,
Flacco. Yeah, Brian Robinson. No.
Yeah, Flacco.
Brian Robinson is out.
Pacheco, not
Looks
practicing.
like Pacheco's not practicing too. Yep. Kyler or Stafford, and Jalen Warren, Kareem Hunt, or Aaron Jones if he plays.
Jones if he plays, but Hunt otherwise for me.
I'd go Warren, but yeah, Jones is if he plays.
Dan, you agree with this comment here?
Wow, you got a fan here, Adam.
Adam
Wow,
looks like
Without a question too, so you know he really is
he or she. We don't know.
sexy librarian. Yep, gratuitous Adam comments. Yep, keep them coming.
Yeah, that's how you get read on the show.
If Stroud and Nico are out, would you start the Titans DST against the Texans over the Ravens?
I wouldn't.
No, but Titans are a good streamer.
Yeah, it's not as ridiculous as Dan made it sound to be.
It's not that. I'm just not going to bench the Ravens defense in this spot.
Well, here's the thing, though. Again, if you want to try and get ahead of your league, the Ravens get the 49ers next week. You're not playing them.
True.
And this isn't the easiest of matchups against the Jaguars. So, not that the Titans are the one you want to pivot to, but like if you can find the Bills, if you can find the Packers, any of these teams that have great matchups next week, much more easier in 10-team leagues. So, but still,
Beckham or Jaden Reed?
Beckham for me.
Reed for me.
Olave, Zeke, or Gibbs?
Gibbs.
Gibbs, Zeke, Olave. But again, how are you sitting these guys? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I feel like Olave is the safest, but maybe not with the ankle injury. I guess we can't say that.
Yeah.
I mean, Gibbs gets the Broncos. Have we seen that enough?
Well, he gets the Broncos, but he's not the typical running back, right? So, like, I think I like. I mean, you're gonna kill me for saying this. I think I like Montgomery more than Gibbs.
No, I don't think that's a bad take. And it's funny because, like, doing the DFS stuff, FanDuel, I believe, has one of them has Montgomery priced higher than Gibbs. The other has it reversed. Now, it might be FanDuel with half PPR versus Gibbs with full PPR. And that seems logical.
Yeah.
But it was surprising that there is a difference in both.
Gotcha. Moss, Brees Hall, Zay Flowers, or Adam Azer. Start 2, full PPR.
In the I've got a plague league, Azer is the best start. I will start Flowers and Hall.
I'll go same thing, Flowers and Hall. I don't like Moss, even though I know the volume should still be there. I haven't been excited about what I've seen so far with lately in his big opportunity.
Adam is the type of guy to remind the teacher we had homework.
Yes,
sit 1 and half PPR. Connor, yeah, no, I was like a cheats, gets like copies someone else's homework.
Wow, we just admitted to cheating on air, and now we will use that. I'll use that to my advantage at some point for sure.
Man, when I was in high school, this other high school had an SAT cheating scandal. My SAT year, my senior year, I guess.
Yeah,
junior or senior. Yeah, they remember those calculators that back in the day, put anything. They cheated. They used calculators to cheat. Like a whole bunch of like these kids. It's crazy. I would never do something like that. All right, sit 1 and half PPR. Connor, Montgomery, Ken Walker, or Zeke. Who are you sitting?
Sitting Connor.
Yep.
Browns DST or Ravens?
I'm still going with Ravens.
I would too.
Matthew Stafford or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, Jamie
Stroud is out.
Or Lamar Jackson. I'd still go Jackson.
Me too.
Schneier's chest looks buff this morning. Push-ups before the show, Danny boy?
No, this is just a natural look.
All right.
That was the worst thing I maybe ever said on the show, and there's been a lot of stupid things.
It was good. Ken Walker or Tyson Chandler or Chuba Hubbard?
Chandler.
Yeah, it's volume's there. Just Chandler.
Darren Waller, Tucker Kraft, or Kate Otten?
I actually think I'd go Waller if he plays.
All right, you can put your.
I think if the choice is you can only roster one of these guys, I would rather just roster Waller and play him. There's not much separation. I kind of lean a little bit toward Kraft, but Waller should be just as good.
All right, fair enough. All right, that's it for me. I told Dan before the show, Jamie, I'm gonna nap. I'm gonna have such an epic nap when this show is over. I'm gonna go to the bed. Like I usually nap on the couch. This is gonna be a special one. I'm going to bed.
Why don't you try the Vicks on your balls of your feet?
True.
I'll do that tonight if I remember. Because then I have to leave the house to go buy Vicks Vapor Rub.
I don't want to do that, but I'll say this, Adam. Like we're nearing, as we close the show, we're nearing like 9 or 10 straight weeks of you being sick or something weird like that. Yeah. You need to like go to an actual doctor and get something checked up on at this point. Like starting to worry about you, bud.
No, I'm worried too. Yeah,
you sound like you are though. I'm like, did you do anything about it? You're like, no, not really.
Yeah, I went to the doctor. I'll
throw some Vicks Waker rub on my feet, and I think I'll call it a night.
I'm getting better. I'm almost there.
At least based on Dan's geography, the feet are at the top of your head.
That's true. This is true. Tallahassee, Central Florida.
Tallahassee, unbelievable. Do you think Tallahassee's closer to Georgia or Alabama? I think probably Georgia, right? It's like right under Georgia.
No, I've never been to Georgia or Alabama. Yeah. I got to get out to those states.
I've been to all of them, all the southeastern states, buddy.
Okay.
They're great. Okay, talk to you all later. See you Sunday. Bye, everybody.